Good evening and welcome to the Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas G. Viewers, as the National Investigation Agency questions 2611 plotter Tahawwur Rana, who was recently extradited from the US, Times now has exclusively accessed findings of FBI as well as the US intelligence agencies, which was submitted in a US court. As per the US agency, 7 months before the deadly terror attack in Mumbai, David Headley traveled to the US and met Tahawwur Rana in Chicago. During this meeting, he shared details of the 2611 plot. This includes the surveillance activities that he had carried out in Mumbai and other parts of India, which shows that other Indian cities could very well have been on target too. Headley not only traveled to the US, but he went to Pakistan as well and met with the Lashkar-e-Toiba members and other co-conspirators. These findings are crucial and the NIA is expected to grill Tahawwur Rana on these lines as well. Let's take a quick look at some of the findings of the US agencies. This is what the US agencies have told the courts. They've said that in April 2008, I beg your pardon, Headley traveled to the United States. They've also, of course, gone on further to say that in May, he met with Rana in Chicago. And that's where he has in fact given the details about the surveillance in Mumbai, the various co-conspirators and the meetings that he had, particularly talking about the idea of attackers landing in front of Taj Hotel. He's also told Rana about boat trips around the Mumbai harbour, which clearly shows the kind of detailing that was done in terms of the plot. He's also told Rana that the attack should be delayed to wait for calmer waters. That's a very important point, in fact, that has been shared. Also shared details of surveillance in other parts of India where he has visited. In September 2006, Headley had traveled to India and he has given details of that. Did surveillance in different parts of India, of course, as we have mentioned. He's met with the co-conspirators in Pakistan as well. Headley has also provided video recordings to LET members of the various areas that he has visited. Instructed to conduct additional surveillance is what has been stated to the US court as well. Let's quickly go across to Bhavtosh Singh, who's joining us for more on this. Bhavtosh, the entire manner in which Headley has met not just the LET, but also Tahawwur Rana and briefed him about the finer aspects of this entire terror strike that was being carried out, from the timing to, looking at the kind of waters and weather conditions, clearly goes to show not just the amount of information that he had, but also how much Tahawwur Rana knew as far as the 2611 plot is concerned. Bhavtosh.
Yes, Madhav. In fact, he knew as much as Zakir Rahman Lakhvi or Hafiz Saeed. He knew that attack will be taking place. In fact, he was aware that the attack has been delayed primarily because the waters were very choppy in Mumbai and that the attack has been delayed. Remember, it was in March 2008 that he first went to Pakistan, shared the GPS location, and he was told to revisit India, which he did. And they told him that the attack will take place outside Hotel Taj Mahal. And then he subsequently, in April of 2008, he again visited US. It was the 5-day meeting that happened in Chicago, where Tahawwur Rana was virtually informed by Headley as to what would be the details of the attack. He told him that he had conducted the surveillance of various parts in Mumbai, and particularly he said that he had shared the landing sites of Mumbai. He further told them, importantly, he told Rana that the attackers have been shared the GPS location. One more important thing, Madhav, is the fact that he was aware of two things. He was aware that attack will be taking place outside Taj Mahal Hotel, and second, he told him that the attack has been delayed primarily because the waters were choppy, and once the sea would be calm, the attack will be taking place sometime around October and November.
All right. Thanks so much for that quick update there. Bhavtosh Singh, in fact, joining us with that piece of information coming in from the US courts. This is what the authorities have been telling the courts there. Let's quickly take it across to our guest now. Joining us is SP Vaid, former DGP of J&K. With us also is Sanjay Sahai, former IPS. Arsen Singh, author, is with us. And also joining us is Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, retired defense expert. Let me begin with you first. Mr. SP Vaid, all of this clearly goes to show not just the extent of information that Tahawwur Rana had access to, but also somebody like David Headley playing, informer in terms of actually getting information from the LET and passing the finer details of the 2611 plot to Tahawwur Rana, a man who's now, of course, behind bars here in India and is being questioned. But all this could very well be part of the line of interrogation as far as NIA is concerned.
Good evening, to you, to your viewers, and my co-panelists, esteemed co-panelists. See, Headley and Tahawwur Rana were deep, neck deep in this conspiracy. There's no doubt about it. And the way all recordings were shared with LETP handlers there, surveillance was conducted in different cities across the country, not only Mumbai, and how they were all racking different parts of the country, different locations in Mumbai, and also the fact that delaying because of the disturbed waters of the sea. The attack has to go to winter months when it is a little calmer. And see, most important is who were the people who were actually helping the interrogation needs to ascertain who were helping within India, these people, Tahawwur Rana and also Headley. We must know that who were the people who were actually assisting these people within my own country, number one. Number two, who was the person who actually ordered this attack? We must understand this the attack of this ramification in India cannot take place by the two majors which Adley had mentioned during his interrogation, that Major Iqbal and another major of ISI. I don't think such a large-scale attack can take place by the initiative of those two gentlemen. Do you think these two majors could take such a huge risk and
Absolutely. That's a very, very big question. That's a very big question. And certainly, of course, the role of the Pak army, the role of ISI is something that we expect will come out of this interrogation. But Arasan Singh, I think that's a very fair point. Can it just be blamed at two majors? The very fact that, one of the most dastardly attacks that has been carried out on Indian soil and terror groups such as LET being used for it. But the big question is, how far up to the top does this kind of a link go, particularly when it comes to the Pakistani army as well as ISI? Are you hopeful that that question will be answered during the interrogation of Tahawwur Rana now by the NIA?
See, I differ with a lot of people who say that Headley was the mastermind. No, sir. If you go into the antecedents of Headley, he was into narco. In the narco smuggling, and then he
yes, he was working with the DEA, the USDA.
And the CIA started using him. While Tahawwur Rana was a major in the in the Pakistan army, and he was sent on deputation to Lashkar-e-Toiba. So this is the the kind of arrangements that you have in Pakistan. And he is the one who carried out reconnaissance throughout India, including the southern part of India. He was the one who was also responsible for radicalizing the people. And it is, it was not just, one of those decisions taken in some kind of a hurry. They had very patiently. The year you are saying is 2006. So they took almost 2 years to, prepare for this attack. So the entire groundwork as such was laid by, Tahawwur Rana, and it was only, the Headley executed it.
Right.
So you have the, the biggest catch today. And I totally agree with, Vaid Saab that I would be more interested at the moment, because we know about the conspiracy, the involvement of Pakistan Army and ISI. I'm not the least bit interested in that. I am more interested about the co-conspirators within India.
Absolutely. That's a big question. Which were these sleeper cells? Who are the co-conspirators? And let me take that question across to Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. Is it possible at all to have carried out this extensive surveillance, setting up the company of Tahawwur Rana, for instance, which was the ruse that was used by David Headley? All of that would have required considerable logistical help, and who those individuals who helped still remains an open question, Lieutenant General.
Definitely, Madhav. No doubt about that, because there is some mystery man in Dubai there are some kind of film world connections. Obviously, he's come and been given a lot of finance to be staying in Taj Hotel. He's been there. Headley has been coming almost 5 times. He's established a company in Mumbai, which is facilitating immigration activities. So all these definitely leads, and it's not, the act has been executed on 26/11/2008. And like Kalarasan Singh is telling, it's from almost 2005. So many times they have come. I was doing NDC around the same time, so I know exactly what happened at that time. And the NDC got alerted to what actions can take place after 26/11. So there's a lot. Obviously, there has to be a sleeper cell. There have to be overground workers. You cannot just be in a foreign country without knowing, and it's not so easy. Much that you can mix around, and especially for David Headley, because he's given up a white skin and blue eyes, and he went about as looking like an American, and on the passport and the visa that he got was a son of William Headley, and not of that of Gilani, that his father was. His mother was an American, but his brother was none other than the spokesperson of the then Prime Minister of Pakistan, Gilani. And his after Gilani had to leave after what happened against him as a prime minister, that man, his brother's name is Daniel Gilani, who went to Beijing as the spokesperson of Pakistan. So you can well imagine what's going on, and just see the connections. Not just that, you have Qureshi, the foreign minister on the Indian soil, being pulled out of the press conference by none other than Mr. Pranab Mukherjee. And our own Home Secretary in Pakistan at that point of time being delayed by 1 day, just on not being able to come out because the minister is busy. Look at all this going on. And this kind of a conspiracy, obviously, like both, the DG Vaid Saab is saying and Kalarasan is saying, is absolutely right. There's so much. There are co-conspirators in India who need to be investigated as to what happened, how did they do it. There's certain, I'm sure, personalities, there'll be a lot of skeletons which will fall off this thing. And we must, there is no denying the fact that we found a bag, Tahawwur Rana, who's a classmate of Headley, and who knows, both of them know each other extremely well. They were caught in Chicago in 2009. Right. They are involved also in the Danish thing. And NIA got an access to them in 2010. And after that, I'm sure our intelligence investigation agencies know everything. They're just going to confirm as to whatever they have on paper, is it right or wrong, and who are the personalities involved in it. Yeah,
right.
Madhav.
Sanjay Sahai, if I can bring you in on this, of course, the role of the LET, the role of the Pak Army, the role of co-conspirators we have discussed. What are you looking at as the biggest takeaway from this investigation, from this interrogation, that we can glean from Tahawwur Rana 17 years hence? As the previous speaker was saying, already there is a lot of information, a lot of it expected only to be confirmed. But do you see the investigation or the actual interrogation of Tahawwur Rana, bringing out something concrete in terms of the 26/11 plot in coming days?
It will give us a very clear-cut, threadbare mapping of what the connects were in Pakistan and what the connects were in India. And all the three panelists have been talking about it. Let us make no mistake that these two people were completely enmeshed with the Pakistani state. You can start with Lashkar-e-Toiba, you can talk of ISI, you can talk of Pakistan, and Lieutenant General Sanjay has been talking about it, the deep connects they have all across the state. It is both the army and the civilian administration, and how much can we differentiate between the army and the civilian administration in Pakistan is left to everyone's imagination. And it's not that they were operating only in India. When the trial happened in US, it was both for Mumbai attacks and also for Julian's Postin episode in Denmark. And the punishment which was awarded to David Headley was for 35 years and Tahawwur Rana for 14 years. And it was shown that there is no direct involvement. So there has been a very meticulous investigation. There is no denying that fact. And the reference points are crystal clear. But the reference points itself does not add up to the complete conspiracy which should be laid threadbare. And this is the opportune time, and might be this is the golden opportunity, that with Rana available to the National Investigation Agency and the complete federal agencies, we will be able to unravel. These two fellows, both Headley and Rana, have been operating globally. It is not only limited to 26/11. If you track their history from 1997 till around they were caught in Chicago and further trial, these people have been operating all around the place. There is a gentleman called Employee B. employee B specifically was handled every single movement, his logistics, his cover in India. And to best of our understanding, whatever we understand from the public domain, without being privy to the actual investigation document, it can also be that it was only half of the mission accomplished. So Indian handlers or the Indian sleeper cells or the Indian connects, it might be political, bureaucratic or otherwise, that needs to be known, because we cannot close this chapter unless we know as to what actually happened.
Right.
Just
SP West-
convicting Rana will not be the end of the game. And even if Pakistan does not agree to whatever our findings are, at least it will give us a handle and we'll prove it to the world that this is how the whole thing was orchestrated.
Let me
They
take
will
that
never
question.
believe, they will never accept. That's a different story altogether.
Let me
But
take
the
that-
US courts,
Yes.
starting from 2009, 2011 and all that, when they said this was not directly involved, just because of our huge legwork of National Investigation Agency, when we came to the extradition process, they finally agreed to whatever legwork we did.
All right,
The
Mr. Sai, let me take that
documentation
question.
is evidence.
That's a very important point. Pakistan, Mr. Ved, you would all recollect, was sent dossier after dossier of information. Very little happened. After some FATF pressure, they finally did some action as far as Hafiz Saeed and a few others are concerned. But the larger question is this: even if we do get those links about those individuals, the names, all those who are involved, what more can India do, diplomatically speaking, to further put pressure on Pakistan and finally ensure justice for all those 166 victims of 26/11?
I think India has already sent a lot of evidence to Pakistan and exposing it all across the world. The world knows about the role of the Pakistan. We even got them FATF blacklisting also done. Pakistan, unfortunately, there are geostrategic interest of some of the superpowers around the world. They come to the rescue of Pakistan. Two aspects I would like to mention that investigators must find out. One, if you recall, there was Ishrat Jahan case in Gujarat. I came across a report that these two gentlemen, Headley and Tahawwur Rana, had discussed about Ishrat Jahan, suicide bomber who was supposed to target the Honorable Prime Minister of today and then Chief Minister of Gujarat. I think if more details could come about this. Another, what is the connection between, Kasab, who was caught alive, having a Hindu name in his identity card and wearing that Hindu thread here on the arm, and the narrative in India of saffron terror. What was the link? How was it happening? Who was behind all this? What was being orchestrated here in India? I think these two aspects also the investigators must focus on.
Very important. Very important. In fact, let me take the question across to RSN Singh. RSN Singh, do you think there's a direct link between the narrative and what was happening on ground as far as, Kasab and the interpretation of what one can call it a deliberate misinterpretation for political benefit that a certain section of our politicians were at that point of time engaging in? Do you see a direct link there, RSN Singh?
See, I'll tell you, as far as diplomacy is concerned, all our diplomatic efforts and hard work, it fructified. And it fructified because the geopolitical scenario changed. That was one of the major reasons. But nevertheless, because we kept trying, so there has to be, there has been a eureka moment as far as his extradition is concerned. But there are certain things, the world would not be interested, except us. That who are the co-conspirators? And I can tell you one thing, this, in research programs, time is too short, that in the annals of history, this is one of the biggest conspiracies. There are so many firsts. They're the first jihadi maritime attack on any country. A state, it is the first time that, a state has sponsored non-state actors on such a big scale. It is the first time that a state, after carrying out a terrorist attack, was not even concerned about retribution. That means they were assured by powers that be that nothing is going to happen. And this is the first time that the objective was political of this terrorist attack. Where is the doubt about it? So, what we had to do with the world we have done, we have got him back. We should be more interested in, in knowing the extent of penetration and subversion of, proxies within India. They have to be named, identified, named, shamed, and and punished accordingly. This is what I expect from this interrogation, and I'm sure that there are very many intelligent people who must be already at it.
Right. Lieutenant Kulkarni, you share that perception that politically speaking, there has to have been some kind of backup as far as this entire episode is concerned, because there are too many questions that remain unanswered as to not just India's response, but also the circumstances under which all of this happened.
100%. There's no denying the fact. What Colonel R.S. Singh is saying, I will go along with it. You have to name and shame all the people who are involved in it. There is, the connections of Hafiz Saeed, the connections of Dawood, you know exactly what the Lakhvi was doing, what Sajid Mir was doing. We know exactly, you cannot afford to stay in a country, come and again from 2005 to 2008 till the execution without a logistic support. And who were they reporting? And they have come all along. Much that, yes, the American passports do not reveal the father's name, but that's not the way it should be.
Okay.
And after that, of course, a lot of actions have been taken place, and now everything is there. From the passport itself, you can make out how many times has he entered India and how many times he's exiting India.
All right. Lieutenant Kulkarni, I'm afraid we have to leave it there. We're out of time, but certainly, of course, a lot of revelations that are continuing to come out as far as this case is concerned. But what really will come out of that interrogation? Many such aspects that need to be answered, and we certainly hope that the investigation brings out all of these aspects as well. Mr. SP Vaid, Sanjay Sahai, RSN Singh, Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us this evening.